Hey guys, before we start, a quick shout out to Alpha Dog Nutrition for sponsoring this podcast. Alpha Dog products are now available at dusupply.com, and you can use code ALPHADOG15 at checkout for 15% off and a credit for free shipping to try it yourself. Now let's get you to your podcast.
Welcome to my podcast, where we are going to talk about a lifestyle with dogs and throw in a few life lessons along the way. Whether you're a hound hunter, bird dog enthusiast, running setters, pointers, retrievers, or a flat-out running dog junkie, this podcast is for you. I am your host, Heath Hyatt, a certified law enforcement canine trainer with over 3 decades of personal and professional training and handling experience. It's time for me to pay it forward. So grab your leads, lace up those boots, and come and join me on this lifelong process of teaching, training, and learning. Are you looking to unlock your dog's full potential and give them the best nutrition possible for peak performance? Then look no further. Inukshuk has what you're looking for. Inukshuk's nutrient-dense formulas are crafted to keep your dog's energy high and performance top-notch. Packed with premium proteins and essential fats, Inukshuk delivers the balanced nutrition your dog needs to thrive. From hunting dogs to police canines, Inukshuk is trusted by professionals. Give your dog the power of peak performance with Inukshuk professional dog food. It's going to be a good one. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What's Up Wednesday, podcast for every hunter who's ever followed a good nose through the woods. I'm Heath Hyatt, your host, and each week we dive into tips, tales, and training tricks to turn your hound into a hunting machine. Whether you're just getting started or you've logged hundreds of miles with your pack, there's something in here for you. Just sit back, relax, and let's get this episode started. All right, so you guys know when I come back from Wisconsin that I have a lot of time to evaluate. We talked about the humble pie, right? So season is upon us, and just to kind of keep you in the loop here, we're a couple of weeks ahead, so I'm behind. Actually, our training season here in Virginia has been in for about 8 days now, 9 days. I got to hunt first couple of days, and then work was crazy this past week. We had so many different things going on that I didn't get to hunt until the weekend, and I'm just now getting kind of started back at it. But I want to break some things down for you on what, thinking and coming up with a plan, because today's podcast is going to require you to do that. So you guys know I took 2-year-olds and younger to Wisconsin. And I'm not going to say that it was a complete and utter disaster, but it could have been a lot better. So on the way back, through conversation and just kind of processing things and what's best for the dogs and for the pack, how am I going to get the most out of my dogs? I just reevaluated, and this is what I've decided. So everybody knows that I like to raise 2 pups together. And there are times that I've only got a single, but if they're mine and I'm raising them and it's my litter, I want to raise 2. So let's just go through my pack really quick. I got Spook and Kate, they're 5. All right, I got Hootie and Hart, they're 4. They're the first litter out of Spook. Not Kate, but Spook. And then I got the A litter, Axe and Attica. They're second litter out of Spook. And then I got the B litter, which is out of Kate. So I got Bishop and Briggs. All right. So they literally are turning 2 this month. And then I've got Lady and Sassy. Lady is a granddaughter of Spook. She's out of the A litter, Axe. And Sassy, she is a Kent bred female, but she did not come from Mike. She come from our good friends over in West Virginia. Chris and Carl, I got her from Chris. So she's 2 years old and Lady's 2 years old. They turned 2 this spring. So they're a little over, 2 years, 2 months, whatever, however you want to say it. And then I got the C litter. Chief was the one that I kept out of that litter. And he is he'll be a year old this month. Yeah, he's not quite a year old yet. All right, and that's not counting the other hoodlums that I have, right? But that's kind of what I'm hunting right now. So I broke the group down. I've got 12 dogs. Oh, and I forgot to tell you. I got to tell you this one. I bought a dog, a Kemp female off a guy that was getting out hunting, and I bought a female, and her name is Rena. And a little background on her. He didn't get none last year. I think he told me he had her out 4 times last year. She turned 3 in May, 1st of June. So basically, she's a 3-year-old dog with probably a year and a half experience on her. So maybe a season and a half. Okay, so we'll just put that out there. So I've got 12 dogs I can hunt. So what I am seeing, and this is some of that evaluation, where are we at with the dogs? I see that the dogs that I've raised together, Hootie and Hart, Axe and Attica is not so much, but Hootie and Hart and Bishop and Briggs, I'm seeing this. They're I don't want to say they're completely dependent on each other, but man, they like to be together. I raised them that way. That's something, in a pack, that's what happens. So I decided to split them all right down the middle. So I'm going to split Spook and Kate, and I'm going to split Hootie and Hart, which I have, and Axe and Attica down the list, right? I'm going to split all the dogs down the middle. If they were raised together, they will not hunt together unless other dogs are sore, hurt, tired, whatever, and I just got room. And then I may slide them in there here and there. So I've broken it down to 2 groups, and what I would like to do by the end of season is breaking it down to 3 groups. And we're going to talk about that in a future podcast, but for the time being, we're just going to keep it where we're at. Last year, I did not hunt Spook and Kate hardly at all during training season. If I had them out 3, 4, 5 times, that was probably a lot. I hunted Hootie, Hart, Axe, Attica, Lady, and Sassy. And both of those dogs were just getting started. Well, like I said, Sassy, I hunted her a couple times in December when Bryce was in. I had her out 4 or 5, maybe 6 times total. She was too young, but man, you got those pups that like she's gonna go, and she did. But I tried so hard not to put her in a situation that was going to set her back. So she does have, a week extra hunting on her. I didn't start Lady until we went to Canada last year. So, Lady's got a week. She literally got started that week we were in Canada, and then, our training season, and then our fall, our kill season, which was horrible. So I don't know how much experience you mark that up to, right? But that's where we're at. So what I decided is I'm going to take the older dogs and kind of go down the line, and hopefully it will get my young dogs where I want them. Not where I think they're at, but where I need them to be at. So I've split them up, and that's what we're doing. And I've hunted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've hunted 5 days out of 8 or 9. Sorry. Like I said, work was bad last week, and I just could not get away. So I didn't get the time in. But the first morning out, we didn't do we did. Garrett had one up and running, so I decided to put the younger dogs and hold the older dogs. I just don't need to pack them. Put them in. They run about 30 minutes, and the skies opened up, and downpoured monsoon rain. When I say monsoon rain, you could not see to drive. After about 30 minutes of that, the dogs all just kind of started breaking up, his and mine, and we ended up catching them. off of that, and it was still raining really hard at that point in time. So Saturday, I didn't get to hunt. I went to the sportsman show in Richmond. Sunday, I took the second group, okay, but I did not take Kate with me this day. I just took the other group. Got after one, and something I guess I need to make sure that we clarify just so everybody can understand where I'm at with this. The 5, 4, and 3-year-olds have not been out this. Now, when I say not been out, I mean other than in the yard running around, they have not been out since December went out. And I'll tell you, the last 2 weeks, so Christmas week and New Year's, was horrible. Bear had laid up. Weather was bad. It was tough to find a bear. I think we found one each week. So it was tough. Not a lot of running going on. So basically since last Christmas, they hadn't hit a lick at a snake. I mean, just nothing. So they're out of shape bad. Now, the 2-year-olds and under that I took to Wisconsin up to Ross's, it kind of knocked the rust off him. They got out, got to stretch their legs, got to run some bear, they got out, and then had a 2-week break before we got to get them out again. So you could see a little difference, but the older dogs are definitely out of shape. So struck, come off a mountain, crossed a couple of roads, made a big loop in there, and it broke and went west, and they made a loop in there again and brought it back down, made another, I don't want to say a loop, but a big circle coming right back into the area that they just left out of. And by this time, I mean, we're an hour or more in, and 2 of the dogs split. All right, so I did take Houdini and Hart this day. So I took both of them. And Hart and Briggs split, went left-handed, crossed the mountain and went into another valley. And I can still pick them up on the tracker. And so I'm watching them, and then I'm watching the other dogs. And the other dogs, literally, I can hear them on the side of the mountain, and they sound like they're caught. Well, about that time, Hart and Briggs come back into the same valley that we're in, and they end up running right back into the same bunch of dogs. Don't know what happened there. I'm not sure. But they made a lose. Everything got quiet for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden Briggs busts out of there. And when I say busts out of there, I mean it's like he's 50, 100, 200, 300, like he gone. Well, about that time, Hart picks up. She goes in behind him, and she's coming behind him. And then slowly the other dogs starting in, they're following his track. So he makes the exact same loop that him and Hart just made. He goes up, goes into another valley, crosses it, comes back through a big saddle, right back towards where we're at. And we're sitting there listening, and I don't hear him saying a word, but he's moving. And when I say moving, I mean he's covering some ground, man. Well, Hart breaks that saddle, and I can hear her opening. She'll open about every 100 yards, and I can hear her 850 yards. I can hear her. And I'm like, all right, I'm Hill Briggs. Well, Briggs gets down in front of us, and I know this is long and drawn out. Just bear with me. He gets down in front of us, then I start hearing him chopping, and he's not moving. I'm like, all right, well, what's going on? Now, guys, listen, he's not 2 years old yet. He's got last season on him, and that's about it. So I'm learning. I'm still learning this dog. Well, Hart catches him. She's squalling, and they go out the mountain, drop down in a valley, and they're coming back up towards the road. I don't know. I mean, half a mile from where they crossed earlier. So I'm sitting there, and we're watching, and we're listening. They're giving good mouth, and they're coming. Now we're 2 hours, over 2 hours, way over 2 hours. We're 2 hours into this. So the dogs are coming. They're 60 yards. Boom, bear pops out the road, looks at us, and just across the road, continues on. So they cross the road, and they're starting to pull the mountain, and the other dogs are way behind. but I picked up Chief. Somehow, I don't remember what happened, but he got out. So I picked him up. I put him back in, and I picked up Houdini. Houdini was dragging. And when I say dragging, I mean dragging when they crossed the road prior to this. So I put them two back in, and they're pulling the mountain, and they pull up about halfway the mountain. So I drive up so I can, find out, keep up with them. Well, Chief's out in front this time. Like, he's out in front, sounding good. He's coming down through there, and they make a loop, and they're coming right back underneath me. So, I mean, I'm listening to this, but Houdini was coming up the mountain behind. And, just young dog. I mean, Chief's got very little experience, young dog. And so they cross paths. So one's coming up, one's coming down. One's on one side of the ridge. There's a hollow, and then the other one's on the other ridge. Well, Chief pulls and goes right to Houdini. Disappointing, yes. Part of it. It absolutely is. So at that point, I just start catching dogs. I mean, we're over 2.5 hours in. The dogs, I mean, they're not catching. I don't want to run them plumb in the ground. So I start catching up dogs and end up catching them. So that was the first day, or the first good run. And then I went the next day with the first group of dogs. Didn't really do anything, but I had to get to work after, so I didn't stay on the mountain all day. And then this weekend, still, I'm learning dogs, right? This weekend, got after one. Dogs took off, went off the mountain, and made a loop, and they come back up the mountain. Well, when they come back up the mountain, the dogs split. I had 2 dogs go one way, 4 dogs go another way, and they make like an hourglass. They go up, and they come back together. And I'm like, okay, what's this about? And Chief was one of them, Chief and Rena. Now, I don't know a whole lot about her. I've had her out 5 times. And they come back together. I try to get back up on the mountain. I get above them. Well, they split again. Well, this time, Chief and Rena, they pull straight up the mountain, and the other dogs are going east. So I go up to the top of the mountain and shoot out an old logging road. And Chief comes across top of that. When he comes across that logging road, he don't even look up. Like, he gone. And Rena, she went with him. They cross over the mountain into another valley. The other dogs are below me, so I continue on out the logging road, and they pull up, treat eventually, go down there. They got a small bear, so I go get everything caught up and try to go back and get the other one. So again, I've got a dog that's not quite a year old. It's got very limited. Well, I mean, yeah, he's in Wisconsin, so he's got a week on him. Well, they had got down there and made a lose, and he had fell off right-handed, and the other dog had took off left-handed. So I continue on out this logging road for a long ways. She comes back across the road, and I can hear her opening. Oh, okay. So I put the other dogs with her, and they run off the backside of the mountain, whatever. They down through there, and anyway, they run a bear across the road. I don't know why Chief fell out, but he did. Well, I think I know now, but it is what it is. So that was that. And today, talking about learning dogs. So it's pretty quiet all morning. I'm deciding that it's getting too hot. You guys know me, about 10 o'clock, I'm done. And I was like, well, I'm just going to rig back up the mountain and see if I can hit anything. So I get back up the mountain. Sure enough, the dogs, they explode on the box. And I'm like, oh, okay. So in my mind, I've already got something worked out, right? They're just going to pile out of there and be done with it. And anyway, I turn them loose. They make big circles. I hear this dog come in there and give one heck of a locate. And I'm like, well, whose dog is that? And I mean, I'm standing 70 yards from the dogs, and he does it again. And I'm like, I don't know whose dog it is. So I start walking down the road to see whose dog it is. Well, it's mine. It's Briggs. Give out 3 of the most beautiful locates you could ever hear on a dog. I've never heard that in his voice. I've never heard it, learning dogs. But anyway, they pretty much treat a layup. It was set. We must have spooked it up a tree or something when we come up the road. They jammed that tree, Spook and Sassy and Hart. They come in there and yanked that tree with him. And anyway, had a small bear sitting in it. But, learning. And why I tell you that is I'm learning. I'm learning this. Always learning. So I want to tell you, I want to go back to last week. So I've got a couple, like Sassy does it, Houdini does it. I know when Spook's doing it. So when Spook's opening on a coyote, man, he's got an angry bark. And when I say angry, I mean angry. So Houdini last year, a couple times he struck. Now, when I say couple, 2, 3, he struck. I'd put him down, and he would run off. He'd run up the mountain or off the mountain or down the mountain, whatever it would be, and then he would just quit and come back. So I have been working diligently on coyotes, and I've been worked on them all winter. So we're starting up the mountain last weekend. From up the road about 100 yards, something crosses the road, and I'm like, what was that? No deer. So we got to discussing it. Like, hey, coyote's too little. It's a red fox. We get up there where that fox crossed the road, and from inside the box, he comes unglued. And I'm like, okay, there's my problem. I've been working on the wrong thing. In my mind, I thought it was a yote, when the whole time it's been a fox. And like I said, you don't strike foxes much here. Like I said, I think last year he done 2. I know of 2, it could have been 3. But yeah, so got that to work on. That was the very first day I had him out. So what a blessing it was to get that done. And now I know. Now there's no doubt what I need to be working on. So yeah, that's kind of been the start of my season, which brings me to today's episode. I know that's a little long-winded. But first, I want to talk to you about something that it comes up a lot. Well, it comes up a lot in canine training, and I may save it for the next episode. I'm going to talk about this, and then we'll just kind of end it there. So in canine training, there's something that we teach and train and talk about a lot, and I've never talked about it on the podcast. So this is going to be new for you guys. And I hope you listen to what I'm getting ready to say, because it's going to be very important in your training and how you handle things. And I am sorry that I have not put it out there before. But it come to my mind yesterday morning on a road crossing. And I had to tell myself, okay, this is what's going on, so I didn't get aggravated. But have you ever heard of auditory exclusion? And let's add another step to it, canine auditory exclusion. So basically what it is, it's where dogs, when they're in a high stress or high arousal situations, they have difficulty hearing or responding to verbal commands. So let me give you an example of what I'm dealing with on the other side of this. Take the hounds out of it. So for us in the police world, we have to follow a use of force continuum. We have to follow what the Supreme Court sets forward for us, what is reasonable. And when I send my dog downfield, downrange on a bite, and that person turns around and throws his hands up and gives up, I've got to be able to recall or terminate that dog off of that apprehension. I know we kind of hit on this before. But in the dog's mind, the dog's like, see man run, chase man, bite man, bite. That's what the dog's thinking. So he's in a very high state of prey drive. And I feel like everybody at some point in time has gained some tunnel vision. That's one of the things we teach in the academy. For us, like when you get really focused on something, like your fine motor skills set down, like your hearing changes. You don't hear or see things like you do. This is the thing that happens in dogs. So auditory exclusion. And basically, it's a temporary deafness that is not actually hearing loss, but is a selective filtering of sounds by their brain. And this is biologic. This is in their DNA. Like, this is in their DNA. This is a survival mechanism. So basically what it is this comes back from their wolf ancestry, and it enables them to prioritize vital information related to prey or threats. So if your dog shuts down on thunder, I know a lot of dogs, thunder and fireworks shut them down. Okay, so they're going to have this exclusion when that happens. When our dogs are chasing game, or let's say that they're trailing, they're trailing. And remember, we go back to the pack mentality. That dog has to trail and catch to survive. He's got to do that to eat. So it's very important for this dog to be focused on what he's doing. So, like I said, it's very similar to tunnel vision that we face, or we end up having. So anyway, it's not disobedience. Okay. This is where I want to get to with this. It's basically the dog's not ignoring you for any other purpose than he's unable to process your commands because he is so intensely focused. So this is what happened to me yesterday. So my older dogs got a little behind, bear across the road. I'm going to catch those dogs. Like, there's no sense in them to continue to run. I just want to catch them up, let the young dogs go, and kind of be, they run a long ways. I think we were 12, 13 miles in at this point in time. So we've all been standing in the road and have the dog see you and kind of like, boop, just jet around you. Okay. All right. That's kind of tunnel vision. But each one, so I had two dogs pop out in the road, and I didn't get to where they popped out. So I holler at them. They don't even look up. They just continue on. Oh, they continue on. So at that point in time, this is registering in my head, like, okay, no big deal. Just let them go. I didn't want them to go, but I recognized that they weren't disobeying me. They were so focused on what they were doing. They were doing their job. So I have to give them a little grace. Okay. So it will pose challenges in your training, especially during the recall. That's why I'm telling you this. Like, when I send Pino downfield on a bite, he has to listen to me, and I need him to be in a clear mind. That's why we talked about, a dog being in a calm, clear state of mind. And when you get a pack together, all of them, are carrying on and act like, man, it just drives it through the roof. That clarity kind of goes away. So, positive reinforcement, control your emotions when they don't listen. When dogs get an odor and are barking in the box or whatever, and we're telling them to be quiet, be quiet, shut up, quit barking. We have to understand that we're going against their natural instinct. Like I said, this is rooted in their DNA. Like, this is a survival mechanism. It is something that is bred into them. It's genetically programmed. So the next time that your dog doesn't listen when he's involved in a hunt, like, step back and say, okay, I understand now what's taking place. He wasn't avoiding me. He wasn't disobeying me or being disobedient. He was actually doing what he's bred to do. Like, this is what he's bred to do. And that's what we want our dogs doing, right? That's what we want them doing. So auditory exclusion, you can Google it, look it up. I will say that if you look on YouTube, Justin Rigney explains it very well. In fact, when I was in, where were we at? Louisiana at the HITS conference last year, he actually talked about it So like I said, it's something that we deal with in the law enforcement world a lot. And I'm sorry that I haven't brought it to your guys' attention sooner. Like I said, it's just something that just slides in the back of my mind. And like I said yesterday, like it hit me. Like it was like, boom, there it is. Okay. You know, when Attica come across the road, she wasn't ignoring me. When Hootie come across the road, he wasn't ignoring me. He was doing what he was supposed to do. And he was so focused on what he was doing that when I hollered, hey, come here, here, he wasn't paying attention. His end goal was to catch bear, you know, see man, chase man, smell bear, chase bear. That's what we want them to do. So sometimes their instincts are like a double-edged sword. And since this podcast has went a little longer than I wanted it to, the next one, we're going to get into that double-edged sword. Okay? All right, that's a wrap for this week's What's Up Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in and walking the trail with me. If you got something out of today's episode, be sure to follow, share with a fellow houndsman or a handler, and leave a review. Until next time, keep the trailing true, and as Dale Cameron would say, see you at the tree.
Tailgate drops before the light, coolers packed and the rig sitting right, tracking collars charged, beeping green, boots in the bed and the rifle's clean. Dog box rattling, engines hum, we're chasing bear till the day is done. Old ring barking like he knows what's near, nose to the wind, tail full of cheer. From the Virginia mountains to the Carolina clay, we're burning fuel in miles each day. Every turn's another tale, through mountain mist and paper trails. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York forest, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Rest stops few, the roads are long, but the fire in our hearts still burns strong. Wisconsin mornings cutting crisp and clear, Canada's wildwoods drawing near. Still got states we ain't run, but that hound dog fever won't let us quit. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fall in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York frost, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Gas station coffee, Alpha XL on the dash. Another back road, another bear track. Friends made fast and stories told slow, under stars where only hunters go. We see the sunrise gold in Canadian air, and it sets on a trail down in Appalachia. Packing steel and leather, grit and care, we're built for the road and chasing bear. So load the dogs and slam the gate, there's a trail ahead, we won't be late. From dawn to dusk, we're always there, chasing daylight, chasing them bears.